Oh my, oh my gosh, that is the worst, the absolute worst. Oh, I can't even. It's inexpressibly bad. How, how, what is, how could anybody? Okay. Hello, and welcome to my daily walk, the show where an anonymous Hollywood guy, that's me, but I'll drop the anonymous because at some point I may not be anonymous. But my daily walk is a show where a Hollywood guy, that's me, walks around and talks about anything and everything except those things I'm contractually obligated to conceal. But I'm changing that line as well. I'm contractually bound to conceal. So if you've been listening, I've been working on the intro. That's the nature of this project, this show, this podcast, this thing that I'm doing is I am developing the format as I go, creating a half hour of content every day and talking about different things, real things, or my opining, I guess, is probably the most, well, I do a bunch of things, but I guess it's mostly opining and reflecting and deducing spontaneously, extemporaneously, planning and scheduling and seeing if I can remember what I was going to do that day. Like today, I had a topic, and believe it or not, that intro that sounded incoherent was the planned, it was like, oh, this is how I'll start it, and then I do the intro. I always start with a cold open is what that's called. For those of you unfamiliar with the vernacular in post-production or it's writing as well. It's the writing in the TV shows. You have a cold open. You start with something that's supposed to get their attention right away, that's related, that'll get explained later on, and then you get into the exposition. And that's the intro that's the same all the time. The name of the show, welcome to my daily walk. And then a log line or a phrase, a catchphrase, which is, the show where main character does some action, and that's it. And you can describe it. Try to make it interesting. And then you go into some business, like, all right, well, if you are, I'm talking generically, not this show in particular, but, if you want to be involved, if you want to come to the website, if you want to help, if you want to donate, if you want to, whenever somebody's creating content, broadcasting, there's either, I just want to entertain you, or if this is entertaining, then they have a cause, or I don't know, there's always a way to get a hold of somebody. Well, that's the point here, is if you want to contribute, be in a conversation, because all it is I'm walking around and talking. So the email address is mydailywalk@thiswaytv.com. It's so new, it doesn't roll off the tongue for me yet. It's so new. mydailywalk@thiswaytv.com. That's going to just get cemented in my brain. Every day I'm going to say that. Every day I'm going to talk into this recording device, and that has to come out in order. So then what happens next? Some production notes, or some programming notes, like there's 5 daily shows. There's one daily show 5 times a week, and extra bonus material for a 6th day of the week, and then we don't have to have something every day. So then what are some of the production notes I should repeat? There's some that I should repeat every show, every episode, which is Monday is a meditation Monday, Tuesday is life lesson, Wednesday is topical, Thursday is Hollywood themed, Friday is freeform. There's something that I am doing on Fridays, and that will change. It's freeform. It's going to take shape in the course of this project, this show, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it. And so, walking around, and today I was going to talk about one thing. Am I actually recording? Okay, good. Okay, the recording device falls asleep sometimes, but it still records, which is brilliant. All right, wow, what a view where I am. Okay. Another part of the show, if this is the first time you've ever heard it, will be me getting distracted by what I'm looking at, because you're just listening, but I'm walking around, and it's different places, and I actually found a perfect place. I've been to this place to walk around. This isn't my normal place, but I've been to this place to walk and do one of the shows before, once or twice maybe, and I just found a great place to walk, because the view in almost every direction is really good, and I think the sound is. I found a place to avoid the noise of streets and crossing streets, and I'm not going to disclose where it is, but sometimes I'm distracted by dogs, sometimes I'm distracted by, vehicles crossing the street, running into somebody I know, or just stopping and commenting on what I'm seeing. Like, oh, somebody just walked by that I know, and there's another person that I know, and all of these people that I encounter that I know have interesting stories, and it's like, ooh, the person's an award winner. Oh, that person's married to a very influential person, or oh, that's like a historic rock musician. Like, yeah, literally, I just thought of 3 people that I walked by in the last 4 weeks of this show, just walking around, that I know, and each one of them, what I just said is true about each one of them. So that's part of the show. Now today, one of the other things I do in the production notes or programming notes section of the show, which is this, is talk about what's coming up. Like, not just the themes. Every day has a different concept, but the topics, specific topics within those categories. Sometimes I'll announce. And this one that I was going to do today, I announced it like twice and changed it. I changed it once, and if I change it again, that'll be the second time I change it. So, and I this one topic that I was going to do today, I'm not going to say what it is. I'm not going to, if you've been listening and you remember, then great. If not, so what? It doesn't matter. I'm changing it because something happened today. I'm like, oh, there's a topic. So today's topic, gosh, I don't even know what am I calling this video? You already know. I haven't even decided what I'm calling this video. Yes, I did decide. Something like eclectic taste. Eclectic taste. What does that mean? Eclectic taste. And so I started with just this ambiguous, oh, that's so awful, that's so horrible, I can't believe it. Like, and I could be talking about anything. Food, somebody's taste in clothes, somebody's taste in music, somebody's interaction, social interaction, something they did, oh, that was awful. And I kept it generic because you have no idea, and that's how people talk all the time. Taste. It's like, what? Ooh, did I just puh into the microphone? Well, that side is a little noisier. I hope you can hear me fine. Eclectic taste. Let me tell the story of what just happened today. I mean, it's not something that just happened. It's just something that happens frequently. I realized that I have a music assistant. Like, ooh, that's something you can hire. You can hire a music assistant, but I have one. And what I mean by assistant, I don't mean, well, this person is a musician, but also a consumer, like an avid consumer of music. And it's not, I used to listen to albums over and over again. Technology was different when I was younger. You know, we had albums, cassettes, then the discs, and it's like you just listen to an album over and over again. Now you just turn on your electronic portal to the universe and everything's there. And you play pieces of things, or you can play multiple things over and over again. You can never play the same piece of music again and just listen. You'll never be able to consume it all because it's being generated and there's so much out there. And it's like, I was a music consumer. We're all music consumers, but I used to just want to listen to the next album or more albums of this one type of music, and I would listen to albums over and over again. And I would love all the songs on the album because I loved the band. And some of them were hits, but I knew all the songs. And there were some that I loved that you'd never hear on the radio. In fact, that whole genre of music you would never hear on the radio back when I was a kid. You could only listen to it on albums, thrash metal and stuff. Now you can hear it in movies. Now you can hear it anywhere. Like when Led Zeppelin was in a Cadillac commercial, right? When rock and roll was in a Cadillac commercial. When my wife told me, who's Ozzy Osbourne? Because she knew who Sharon Osbourne was. Or no, my wife said, oh, I like Ozzy. I'm like, wait, what are you talking about? It's because I think she had seen their parts of the reality show. I never saw it, but so the music I grew up with was underground when I grew up with it, and then it became mainstream. It's interesting, but there's so much good music out there. And here's what happened this morning. My assistant, we were driving around, and basically this is the person in my life that when that person's with me in the vehicle, they are always in charge of the radio. Sometimes I intervene and change it, but I'm like, this person's taste in music and ravenous appetite. Like, this person is always consuming music, and some of it's music that I already love, but every other piece of music she plays pretty much is new music that I love. It's like somehow everything she chooses is interesting and entertaining and enjoyable to me. I am always asking this person, when did that come out? What year was that? Details, getting details. And some of it is really surprising to me. So what happened today? I said that 2 times. Like, I'll tell you what happened today. We were in the vehicle together, and there it is. I couldn't avoid it. Okay, this person is, I guess, would identify as a she, because I'm referring to this person that way. All right. It's so difficult to talk sometimes. So difficult to know what words to use. Never know when something you said will come back to haunt you. Tangent. See, I'm going on these tangents. But the fact of the matter is, every word that comes out of your mouth, especially in this format, it's there. Voluntarily put it there, and you'll be judged by it. It becomes who you are. You're speaking yourself into existence when you open your mouth. Because that's the only way people can judge you or know who you are. In their minds, you come into existence in a very specific way. It's however you spoke. There's just an insight, a nugget. Write that down. Okay, back to the story. We were going somewhere, my assistant and I, and a song comes on that I immediately like, but it's new, unfamiliar, but it's funk. And so funk is familiar. The song itself was unfamiliar, but the funk was familiar. And I enjoyed it thoroughly, and my eyes, hit the artist name. As soon as my eyes found the artist name, because it's visible for me to see, I couldn't believe it. It was one word. Prince. Mm-hmm. An artist. And one that I appreciated very much. And like my musical taste started becoming, well, they were already fairly broad. I appreciated classical, and I liked oldies and rock and roll. My dad turned me on to it. So those are, but I got into a very, very heavy genre of music, like thrash, hardcore thrash, speed metal, a little bit of punk. Just like 2 rap albums. There was 2 rap albums that influenced me. It was the License to Ill, and that's the one with the plane crash on the front. That's the one. And I forgot the name of the album, but it was LL's first album. Yeah, LL's first album. You can explore. If you're unfamiliar with music or hip hop, then you can fact check it, Google it, whatever. I'm not gonna. I'll give hints, but I won't go straight, because those people came into my life later. Gosh, so my taste in music was very heavy stuff. And Prince was not. He's like the opposite of that style of music. So at that time, anything on the radio, you avoided. Anything that got radio airplay is like, that's not heavy kind of music that I like. That would never get played on the radio. That was literally a mindset. I was like, oh, that'll never be on the radio. And I was wrong. But even then, I heard a guitar solo one time when other music was playing. You know, when I got to choose, my music was heavy and loud. But if I was around family or friends, other music would be playing. And when I heard a guitar solo in, I don't know which song it was. Purple Rain? Yeah, it was probably in Purple Rain. That guitar solo, I was like, whoa, wait a minute, who played that? I'm like, oh, the singer, the guy who wrote the song. I'm like, oh. So that guy can do, if he can play that guitar solo, he could play any of the music that I listen to. I knew it, because that was an electric guitar solo, and that guy, I knew he could, just by that riff, he could play any of the music I like. But he's playing this stuff. Lots of other people like this stuff, and so there's different groups. People just like different things, and I still love good thrash. That's why, like, Korn turned into, this band's got. Oh, Metallica is the one that broke it open, I guess. I listened to a lot of them. I was more a the original lineup. Like the first album, there's a guy that wrote all their songs with them, you know, like with James and I guess Lars. But this guy wrote all the songs on the first album, a couple of them on the second album. I don't know if he got credit, but you know, just the environment I grew up in, knew what was going on behind the scenes. I had to check my time here. I'm going to go on tangents, but I got to get back to it. Okay. I had a bootleg album from this guy where the crowd was chanting, "Kirk Hammett sucks. Kirk Hammett sucks." Like a bootleg. Somebody recorded a gig, and the guy they kicked out just before their first album, just before they signed that contract. They're like, we got to get rid of. I wonder if they were pressured to get rid of him, or it was just obvious that this guy was going to just, self-destruct or ruin the opportunity or something. I don't know, but that's the guy I like his music, and so he wrote some of their music, and it was good music, so I like them, and I like his other stuff. But getting back to the Prince, the moment today where I saw the name, just one word. I saw who this artist was. I was enjoying the song, and then I was like, wait a minute, he's been gone a while, and this isn't new. Oh yeah, I never listened to his albums. So there's good music out there on his album, and probably every album, and every other artist like that, where I just have heard their hits. There's just good music out there, and my music assistant is running through a whole bunch of stuff. You know, she listens to. I'm just going to stay with she instead of this person. She listens to everything, whether it's brand new or 50 years old. And there are people who do remakes. She'll listen to the originals and then the remakes, and she just studies it. And I get bits and pieces. She's just there. If I ever need to know, she'll like, oh, this is this, and she'll give me the information. It's nice. By the way, I'm cheating right now. I'm going somewhere, and I'm going to be late if I don't finish this thing on time, which I will finish on time. I always finish on time. But let's see, time on the clock. Yeah, I'll be 4 minutes early to where I'm going. But so that experience this morning just got me thinking about how much art is out there, and you know, eclectic taste in music is a very specific type of taste. There are people who have eclectic taste in anything. Eclectic, like people who like a lot of different cigars. Some people, you know, find one they like and they stick with it, and some people sample a lot of cigars. Eclectic taste in cigars or alcohol, or some people have things that drive them to do. Okay, I don't want to go into a dark place, but eclectic taste is, that's another topic. So there's a topic that I was just thinking of that I have on my list. I'll tease it here. I'm thinking of how to finish up this episode. There's a phrase, become all things to all men. Become all things to all men. There's a line with taste. There's taste that's eclectic, like liking different things that are good. And then when taste ventures into an area that's not good, it's no longer taste. It's a obsession. It's I don't know. It's more like a sickness, a disease, being totally possessed rather than choosing. Because in taste is a preference. It's, you know, you have choice. When people are obsessed by something, or obsessed with something, or possessed by something, I think it's the same thing. When you have an obsession, you become possessed by it. It's two sides of the same coin. There's two things here. There's an object to become obsessed with, and then there's your change in demeanor or change in behavior. You become possessed, like the thing is pulling you. The thing itself possesses you. You're obsessed with it. It possesses you. Am I wrong? Somebody fact check me and email me if I'm wrong about that distinction or that connection. I would. So, because I changed the topic at the very last second, this recording may be there be moments of incoherence because I'm like, what should I talk about and not talk about? But becoming all things to all men ties in, I think, to the notion of taste, and here's how. If you want to be in the in group, there are groups. If you want to be in the in group of Some people are everybody's into different things. You have groups that go watch sporting events together. You have groups that play chess together. You have groups that it's just family. We like to hang out and do things. If you want to be on the in group of any fad or trend or anything like that, you have to genuinely appreciate the things that those people appreciate. To be a sports fan, some people are like, sports, forget it. I know it's rare, but there are people that don't listen to music. It's like mind-boggling to some people. It's like, how can you not listen to music? So, becoming all things to all men is looking at the things that they love and seeing their appreciation for it. And then respecting that. So eclectic taste, people who have eclectic taste are already, I guess, predisposed to being able to connect with more people. Eclectic taste makes you more available to more social interaction. You can strike up a conversation with just about anybody if you have varied interests, and you'll discover new interests. You'll find somebody talking about something they do that they love or a hobby they love. And because they're passionate about it, it'll become interesting to you. It may not motivate you to go do it yourself, but if you were hanging out with this person doing it while they were doing it, you would enjoy yourself. Okay, I kind of like where this discussion has gone. Let's see, how much time do we have? I've got 3.5 minutes. So, the becoming all things to all men is another topic, but this is tied to it. And maybe Wednesday is topic day. Maybe I will continue this on Wednesday. I like the train of thought, eclectic taste tying into becoming all things, because some things are morally objectionable to most people. I mean, there was some universally objectionable facts. I could describe a scenario right now that universally every person would find objectionable. So and there are contrarians. There are people who just disagree to disagree. But I like the direction that this subject matter is going. But the taste is different than, there's a categorical distinction that needs to be made. Just taste, like I wouldn't wear certain colors, partly because I don't know, maybe I wouldn't wear them just because I don't have them. I don't think I want to draw attention to myself or anything like that. But some people have a color palette as well. So there's taste, and then there's just what makes you look the best. And so there are all kinds of distinctions, categorical distinctions, and then there's taste versus obsession, what we're talking about, which drives people to do things that are harmful to others. And you should never let somebody say, oh, to each his own. Never, in certain circumstances, should you ever allow someone to say, to each his own. Eclectic taste has a threshold where it cannot tolerate, taste cannot tolerate atrocity. There we go. This car is looking for a place to park, and I'm just walking around. I don't like, there's a radio, I'm just going to babble over the top of it so that you don't hear it. I don't want to hear it and identify it. I don't want to have any objectionable material on this ever. I don't let that car stop and turn the radio up. All right. Oh, so I was just saying, I just said a line, and I got distracted by that car. Email me what I said, because I'm not going to listen back to this. Taste cannot tolerate atrocity. Was that it? Taste mustn't tolerate atrocity. Oh, wait. Anyway, eclectic taste, kind of a spontaneous ramble, extemporaneous fumbling and bumbling through thoughts. And I'm enjoying this process. I hope somebody else might take some joy in it.